Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a Friday afternoon. Now, you're probably wondering, what am I doing a vlog on a Friday afternoon? Well, there are a couple of reasons for that. Number one, I normally say that Friday is a difficult day for me to exercise because I do 2 broadcasts. Well, I've just realized that really is quite a load of rubbish, because I have plenty of time between 2 broadcasts if I choose to take it. My one broadcast finishes at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the next one doesn't start until 7. So that's quite a bit of time. So today, after I fought many excuses, I decided I'm going to get in the car and go and drive and go and take a walk. And I tried to think, where could I walk? It's already 3:15, so I don't want to be out too late or too long because it gets cold. And I thought I'd go up to the dog park for a change. And I think it's going to rain soon, so the sooner I get there, the better. And it's not a long walk, but it'll be a walk. And it all adds to my day. And funnily enough, just even getting in the car to go for the walk is steps, if you think about it. And the other thing was that yesterday I did a great vlog. I really did. It was a wonderful vlog. The only problem was I forgot to press record, or if I did, I repressed it by accident and turned it off. So I got this incredible half-hour of footage. Okay, really not sure what happened there, but somewhere that broadcast stopped broadcasting. My camera just closed down on me. Not quite sure why. Get it centered again. Anyway, I just want to let you know that we just came off a great broadcast. We had, we started the conversation with the question, which is, why is it so difficult to say I'm sorry? And we talked around that in terms of ego and in terms of various other things. Don't want to look stupid, you know, and it was a wonderful discussion. And one that I will talk about at more length during the week, I think, because it was some really interesting stuff that came up on it. But then we got into more about setting boundaries and when is it appropriate. And the games that people play. And really, there's no doubt about it that everybody in the broadcast owned the stuff that we actually, and this is the whole thing that I like to get to, it's not about what other people do to us, it's what do we do. And so, you know, once you've discovered, okay, fine, this triggers you when other people do it, the question then is, do we do it in some way? And so we had this really great discussion in regard to people manipulating us into one thing and another. And then this incredible story came up, and I wonder how many of you relate to that, which is that people who only really contact you when they need you. When I say when they need you to do something for them. Which is a really interesting situation we found. And we heard one story of a family that was supporting a certain section of the family for quite a long time. But the only thing was that they realized that the only time that part of the family ever talked to them was when they wanted more money or when they wanted them to do something. There was really no appreciation of the fact that this one family had supported the other or of the people. And so what we heard about was how, sorry, I've just got this on a trying to make this work. What we heard about was one day it was enough, just enough. And so the viewer just put down a very heavy boot and said no more, and stopped the funding and stopped doing all sorts of things, which of course would have caused quite a bit of trouble. And my question was, did you feel guilty when you did that? And the answer was priceless, I thought. The answer was, I felt guilty about not feeling guilty. And that so often is the reaction when you set a boundary, because you think to yourself, why didn't I do this years ago? You know, you don't feel guilty, and the other person on the other side that you've set the boundary on is undoubtedly stomping their foot and being quite upset. But the thing is, I warned you. I think the problem in life is that for too long we are victims of bad behavior, and we choose not to put down a strong boundary. And when we do, we actually are quite amazed at, wow, why didn't I think of this before? So it was a great discussion, and it came in at very different levels, and we had some great people admitting their stuff around this, which I thought was really healthy. And that's what I always like, is that we can do that. Now, the place I've decided to come walk today is our local dog park. Because it's cute. So I thought we'd meet some dogs today. So as you can tell, it's about 10 minutes away, so I'll be with you in a second. Wow, that's quite something. Well, I didn't take the camera with me into the dog park because when I got there were a whole group of people that I used to know from the days that I had been and Bud before Bean. And one of them was having their 70th birthday party at the dog park. So they were very kindly included me. And we all went for a walk together, so that was really lovely. So isn't that strange? I haven't been here for 2 years, and the one day I decide to visit, I see people I know. So I'm really quite blessed in that. And also people who have dogs, and who know people who have shelters and things. So I just let them know I'm in the market for about a 1-year-old onwards. Most of the dogs that I take from the pound when I've been allowed to have been about a year and a half, because they are normally over the puppy stage but still very trainable. Actually, I think all dogs are pretty trainable if you doing. So I'm not quite sure why the camera stopped on the way here. I'm going to have to think about that as well. It's really interesting, this whole business about changing cameras. The upside is that you get a much better picture, and the downside is you got idiosyncrasies about which you know absolutely nothing. So I will find that out as I go along the way. So I'm hoping you've all had a good day. As I said, this whole discussion we had at the broadcast earlier today was great. I stopped talking there for a moment because I've suddenly thought, you know, I don't think I've eaten today, and it's now 4:15. I did have some green juice, so I guess that counts, right? So I'm going to have a late brunch, which will also be dinner for me, I guess, before I do the broadcast. So I'm very proud of myself. That's 9 days out of 9 that I have walked, one day at a time. And this is a decision every day. Do I want to break the cycle? And you understand, every day I've had good excuses as to why I should, because we always have an excuse if we want one. And I think it goes under the whole heading of, if you want to do it badly enough, you will. And that is something that I really understand at a whole different level. If you want to do something badly enough, you will. I guess I must have wanted to stop smoking badly enough to try absolutely everything that ever came out. And it didn't work, and it didn't work. And then I kept reminding myself about Edison, who kept trying to make the light bulb work. And he just kept saying that every way that didn't work led him one step closer to what does. And so that's why I kept saying, well, this didn't work. I'm not ready yet, or whatever the story is, but don't let me stop trying. And I never did. I just kept wait a few years and I'd try the next thing that came out, and then I'd wait a few years and I'd try the next thing. But I actually always kept trying to quit smoking. And then, boom, the perfect storm came, and it looked like Juliana and a brand new house, and I did it. So you never really know what it is that's going to do it for you. So my goal at the moment is to get myself under a certain weight, and I'm down 5 pounds already this year, and I am looking for another. I would like to be down another 15 if I can. I'm scared myself a little bit with that idea. I know that I could do it by making dramatic changes, which I won't keep. So that isn't going to work for me. If you understand what I'm saying. I know I could go on a crash diet and lose 15 pounds, but that's not what I want to do. I want to make the changes that slowly bring the weight down and keep it off. So when I quit smoking, I put on 40 pounds. And funny enough, I didn't mind the first 20 because I was used to that, but when the next 20 came, then that was almost insurmountable. I didn't think I would ever lose 40 pounds. 20 you can sort of deal with, but 40 is a lot of weight. And so now I'm not worrying about losing 40. I'm concentrating on just losing 10 at the moment. That's what I'm going for. I would like to have lost 10 by the end of the year, and 15 would be my moonshot. That would be, I really worked hard. And as you know, I'm a great believer in doing goals and anything like this in small things. It's called small achievements. To have walked 8 days, well, that's now 9 days out of 9. I don't think I've ever done that in my life. And do I think that I will continue to do that every day? Probably not, no. But for as many days as I can, I'd like to continue it. And I definitely want to do it more often than not. And especially now at this time of the year when the weather is getting better. Now we know that it's going to rain quite a bit, and there are going to be days when I don't want to be walking in the pouring rain. In which case I need to be on my total gym. That will count as well. Although it doesn't put as many steps on, of course. And so my other trade-off there is then I will do housework or clean up around my house to put the steps on, because I found out that does do that. Alright everybody, have a wonderful day. This is DearMamaSal saying, go with your heart every now and then. When I say go with your heart, but you understand, if I hadn't suddenly said, you know, I think I'll go to the dog park, because that's what my body was telling me, I would have missed out on a fun day. Bye bye for now.